Hello everyone. So I have exactly 15 minutes to do this small presentation. So I'll try to see if I can do it a bit quicker. Maybe you have some questions that you would like to ask. So yes, I am the CCO of Dixa and also co-founder of Crowdio. I'm living here in Copenhagen. I have 4 children and I'm also working in the startup and the tech company Dixa. And that is a pretty busy life, I can tell you. So that requires a lot from my husband at least. Oh, sorry, my wife at least. And that was not even on purpose. No. So we all know these fantastic growth stories, and that is actually what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about growth, and I'm here to talk about what is possible, and if it's possible, how to do so. Because we all know these fantastic stories from other tech companies. So we all know the story from Intercom at least. So we know this gamer company that quite accidentally moved into the messaging space and suddenly they created a hockey stick and they created fantastic growth. So we know that there must be very skilled people on board and fantastic product managers, etc. But we also know that they hit something that was quite unpredictable. And actually the same goes for a startup and tech company like Slack. So this is also when we are starting new companies, we really want to try to duplicate something like this. I know this is common sense and there's a lot of skilled and knowledge people around here, but I just want to make this intro to actually outline what it is that we're all aiming for. And also if it's actually possible to do so. So Slack is a fantastic story. This is also the classic hockey stick, and we know there is a lot of such stories out there. The big question is how to do that. So we also know other stories here, and we know that some of them probably we love to hate them, or the opposite, or the other way around. So we know the Gangnam Style, we also know the $1 Shave Club. It has both of them, even though one of them is just a music video and music, the other one is a web shop. They have been creating fantastic growth up on a viral hit. So looking at that, what actually made it possible for 2 guys like this to create fantastic growth? I don't know. Maybe they were skilled. Maybe it was just dumb Irish luck. I don't know. But I assume that it has probably been somewhere in between. So this is also why looking at tech startups, I'm sure that many of the people here that's in startups would agree with me, is that trying to create this hockey stick growth with the opportunities we got is very difficult. It's nearby impossible actually. So I believe that the hockey stick we're all looking at is probably more like this right here. So we pretend to do like this, or we want to do like this, but it looks more like this. And actually getting to this point down here, maybe some of you guys here is already here, or maybe you were so unfortunate or so fortunate that you had a product that was so fantastic that you already did this here. But for most, I think you will probably be here, 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 or maybe here. And in order to do that, then there's actually not that much, there's not like the big secrets around it. It takes fucking sales. There's like, you can't do anything else. You can make fun growth hacks, you can make fun ways of creating leads, and you can make fun ways of creating some buzz around your company, and it will take you to some point. So for the Dixa example, it took us to about $20,000 MRR, doing a lot of crazy stuff. But from there on, and also before that actually, it was just hardcore sales. And a little bit more trustworthy than this guy, of course, but it is actually what it takes. It takes hardcore sales, not only for the salespeople that will be brought on board, but also from everyone else in the company. This means in Dixa, we have had help from our CTO and founder of Dixa. He is not a sales guy. He actually hates doing sales. He hates participating in meetings with other people. But that was one of the first things I told him is you need to be on all the sales meetings. At least the first 20 or 30, you need to be a part of it. So because we needed his trustworthiness, we needed his enthusiasm about the product to sell the product. So it takes hard work, sales, and sales from the whole business. Also the CEO as well. So, well, our journey was a little bit like this, actually. So you have probably seen this picture before. I didn't join up here. I joined around here. There was 3 guys before me, 3 developers, just moved out of a kitchen, moving into founder's house. And then I joined as the first commercial guy on the team. We are today, by the way, we are 45 people. We were 15 people about the same time last year, so we are growing very fast. But growing to that, I would like to think we are about here, but it definitely took a lot of ouches and shit and what the fuck happened, and also a lot of champagne on the way. But that is the traditional journey we will see when we are trying to develop software as a service businesses. So besides that, then I've been working with a model. I'm calling this model Pentagon, which is actually my take on what it takes to develop a sales department. So I believe that people here, or if there is any people here that has a product or are working in software as a service, then I want to believe that the product is there, of course. So besides the product, then there's of course people, processes, and passion and productivity. That's my take on it, at least. There's of course a lot of other stuff. So what I will focus on here today is people and process. So for this we created a playbook. We called it basically QSASA, and I will get back to that. QSASA sounds pretty cool, actually, I think. So this is a playbook that's tailored around salespeople. So it's tailored around, for this part here, to get the right people on board, to manage these people, define which people to get on board, and make sure that we do sales the most efficient way, and that we can basically get the customer through our sales funnel as fast as possible. So that's basically it. Looking at this, then the first thing is trying to look at a career development plan. That was at least what we did. We looked at what positions are we aiming to fill. So this year we divided it into field sales or account executives that are doing like more advanced selling, that's actually talking to the customers, trying to close the deals, doing the demos. And then we're looking at all the inside sales. This is the inside sales part, starting from market research analysts, which is the ones that mainly focused around creating the deals, creating the leads, finding out of the ICPs we have, finding the ideal customers, trying to figure out what technologies are they using, trying to figure out who is the correct person to contact, maybe the 2, 3, 4 persons, who's our champion, who's our decision maker, who's the influencer, etc. Filling this into the pipe, making sure that it can go to the business development reps that can actually reach out to these customers. They can reach out on LinkedIn, they can reach out on email, but usually on written medias. Then going to sales development representatives, which they are allowed actually to call the customers. And then from there on, sales executives. After this, we're going into the senior sales executives, and from there on, going to account executives, senior account executives, etc. The reason we are doing this is because you need to create some environment for these salespeople to grow. Salespeople, they need to feel success. So if you have 3 roles in a sales department, then they will always aim for the next thing. So within a year or a year and a half, then they will all be key account managers. And that's and if you keep them in just account manager positions or account executive positions, then they will feel not worthy. So basically, it's created to make sure that the employees, they are motivated all the time, and also make sure that they're doing the right things. So it all starts with the people. We all know that. People is the most important asset we have at all. And we have all tried to hire wrong people. We know how expensive it is. We need to train them. We need to give them knowledge. We need to give them the sales skills, etc., etc. It's extremely expensive. So always looking at the people first. So we know with the right amount of resources, this means peoples and their personalities, etc., they need to create some efforts. And in order to reach the result, it takes some efforts. So it's actually really easy. So when we were looking at what to achieve, when we were looking at our budgets, we were basically just making the calculations from here. What is the result we are trying to achieve? What is the average size of our customers? What is the expected ARPU or MRR? And then what is the acquisition time we have in average? And then from there on, we were just doing the simple calculation. And then we were looking, of course, on the resources. So one person in Dixa looking at a sales hero, as we call them. We were looking at what is important. We have this saying where we say we hire for attitude and we train for skills. And we actually believe in that. hire for attitude, train for skills. So it would be nice if we could hire people that was extremely skilled. They had the right amount of knowledge about the product, about the market. They have the personality, attitude, motivation. But that is not the case. It's nearby impossible. And I think many of you guys here, you know the same story. You're probably moving into a space where you think, oh, this is a blue ocean, but there's someone else that's also solving the same problem. So maybe our product is different, but we still need to compete against these guys here. So when you're moving into these, in between these spaces, then you know you can't just find people that know everything about the space. It's not possible. So we know the knowledge part is the knowledge about product, knowledge about market, and we know how to give our sales executives exactly this. Value proposition, etc. The skill set is basically sales skills. And I'm not talking about personality. I'm not talking about the born salesman. I'm talking about real professional sales skills, how to make sure that the deal will be processed through the sales funnel in the right order. And then personality, attitude, motivation needs to be there. So this also means that every time we hire someone, we are looking at something like the DISC profile. So do they have the right profile in order to be a successful salesman? So in DISC it will be he has a DOI as a profile, or IOD, etc., etc. Yes. So now finally moving to QSASA, because this is what actually has been the center around our success so far. So we created this model here, again, to make sure that we would get sales. So if we look, usually in sales, you will have a prospect, and you will get this prospect either from a sign-up or a contact form, or they would be calling you, chatting with you online. And what would be the typical thing to do after this? Well, you would probably be qualifying this lead somehow, and then you would try to book a demo. Maybe you would have it put up on your website so they can book a demo right there. So now we have a demo at Wednesday, and we are like hoping that this guy, he will be a nice fit for our business. And maybe he will be interested. But most likely, you will jump into this demo without knowing shit about this business. So the actual possibility that you will be a success is close to zero. So what we said here is that no one in Dixa is allowed to deliver a demo before we have had at least 3 personal touches with the customer. Not before. So salespeople, they always want to jump into a demo. They always want to present the product. They always want to talk about the product. Don't talk about the product. Don't say anything about the product. The only thing I will allow you to do right now is to ask questions. So qualify this lead. So what are they doing today? What is the current technology stack? So in our case, we have a customer service or contact center platform. So what are they using for ticketing system or for handling emails? What is their telephone system? What is the messaging system? What is the ERP or CRM system where we can make integration or e-commerce platform? Looking at their business, like what is the total technology stack? This can take maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. So the point here is not to do things fast, because we know that also with friendships and everything else, we need to build rapport. It's about building a relationship to the customer. And for us to spend time with them on telephone or online, it's a good thing. So sometimes we are basically leaving the customer after this period here, talking to them 10, 20 minutes, and they're saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really busy. I'm saying, that's all right. Would it be okay for me to call you back tomorrow, just digging a little bit deeper and then rescheduling this demo for Thursday? Yeah, no problem. So we will jump into the situation call. After this, we'll be talking to them about their struggles. What are their business problems? So looking in customer service, it will typically be something like customer success. So we want to make sure our customers are more satisfied. We want to be more efficient when working with our customers or working with the different platforms. We're working with a lot of submodels to support this. We're working with Band, we're working with Fab, we're working with Why, How, What, etc., etc. But basically, this is about understanding their business and what they are trying to achieve or prevent from happening. Yes. So moving into the alignment is basically recapping on all this, saying, dear Mr. Customer, I know by now that you are looking to solve this, you're looking to prevent this from happening. And if we are able to deliver all this, would you be able to move forward with us? But I haven't even seen your solution yet. No, I know that. But if we were, I'm not saying we are because you are actually looking for a lot of things, but if we are, would you be willing to move forward? Yes, I would. Okay, are you also the one taking the decision? Yes, I am. So what is the time frame here? Is it like next week or 2 weeks from now? No, we would be able to make a decision. Good, because now, now we'll move into the solution part, showing the platform. Because we know in Dixa that we have such a strong platform already. So we know if we get this alignment, then we can show a solution that matches their needs. And from there on, it's almost impossible for the customer to get out of it. So when he said, oh, no, the timing is not right, that was not what you told me last week. You told me if I could show you a solution that could match your needs, you would actually be willing to move forward. So I don't have anything more to say. This was just a brief introduction to our sales model and how we approach our customers and how we do professional sales and how we are growing the business. If there's any questions, then I will be happy to answer them. Well, thank you. Yes?
Of your entire sales operations, how big of a percentage would you say that you use allocated resources towards qualification? So you have junior guys sitting with both inbound and outbound, calling out to people, the same guys that are doing the spreadsheets, calling out to potential customers and asking them. You talk to
So we are not that fortunate that we have inbound leads.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not either. So please walk me through. So you have the junior guys calling the prospects several times prior to a meeting?
So the junior guys, what they will typically be doing is qualifying the customers even before we contact them. So from that, we have different strategies of how to create their attention. So what they do is basically just create attention. That could be in our world, it would be scoring them on we are calling customer friendship, but customer service. Looking at their current way of doing things and then scoring them and then send this report to the customer saying, we score you at 4.8 out of 10 in customer friendship. Do you want to have the answer? Do you want to know why we scored you so low? Then we would like to show you this report. From that could be one trigger to move them into some interest where they can actually talk to our sales representatives. So that was just one way of doing it. But the ratio is typically 2 market research analysts for 1 BDR, if that was your question. Yes, okay.
So at the stage where 3 developers is moving into Founder's House, having to hire someone like you, what would you be looking for?
At least 50% of your shares.
Not so much you, but what if you were in the case
same.
to hire someone like you?
Yes, the same.
What would you look for?
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I think that is the biggest mistake you see from tech companies in Copenhagen. There's so many of them. We have never seen a bigger movement in tech in Denmark than just right now. So we are swimming in tech. And many tech guys, they think that they can invite some sales guy on board and then, I will manage this guy, no problem. No, you need a sales professional. You need basically a commercial man or commercial director or something like that can manage both marketing and sales and basically take this part of your business so you can focus on building the product. So and that's not cheap. But I don't believe that you can try to find a guy, say to him, you will get 2% of the shares, you get a 2% warrant, and then you will have low salary, then you know what kind of guy you will get. So that's probably not the guy that can move your business, really. Yeah. Sorry. Yes?
You use Dixa. I love it. I think it's amazing, actually. What's the key thing in terms of the trait from the young people that you bring in from the beginning that you think has the best success to go through this funnel to then go through your progression in a career? Have you really pinpointed the most valuable traits? That's always a struggle, at least for me.
Yes, so we actually have another playbook for the for the first part. So from the market research analysts and up until the account executives, there's a similar one to this. And this is actually, our pipeline is looking exactly like this. We have 2 different pipelines. We have the inside sales, the market research analysts and BDRs, SDRs, one pipe, and then it's handed over to this pipe over here. So, but looking at this, then the most difficult way or the most difficult thing is to create interest. It's always the thing. And that's also why it's so difficult to generate leads. But from there on, then we can see the thing that everyone is struggling about is not to get carried away. That's how it is with salespeople. Even with even myself. So when I'm looking at customers and I want to sell something, then I get carried away. I'm starting to talk about the product. I'm starting to talking about the benefits. The problem is, then when you're trying to ask the customer, will you be willing to move forward? Then they already know, oh fuck, this potentially is the right fit for me. What should I do? I need to go ask somebody. I know, no, it's not the right fit. Sorry, and not the right timing. No, so you need to pretend. The customer needs to think that you don't have the right solution. So they need to put their guards down, and only by then they will be honest to you and tell you if they are the ones making the decision and if they're willing to move forward.
What's your win rate then, roughly, when you get the solution? More than 75%?
Sorry, one more time.
What's your win rate?
So when we get it to qualification and then the win rate, 33. Yeah. Are you going to stay? No, unfortunately, I need to go to Lucas Graham concert. Yes. With my wife, and I'm going traveling tomorrow, so I don't think I will be popular if I skip that one.
That was the agreement.
Yes, okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much.